Hey Chickees! So today I am here with
James. I'm a filmmaker. I'm also legally blind, so I make videos about activism for accessibility and equality and disability rights, and I talk about mental health as well, because that sort of goes hand in hand, and relationships as well, because, you know,
fun stuff.
Cool.
So before we even start this video, of course, if you're interested in his channel, link below to subscribe to him. Make sure to go and do that.
Or albino people, because I'm technically albino. That's a thing.
That too. Yeah. So today we are back with another Chickee Chit Chat for you all. This is the most random last minute planned video ever. That was a mouthful. We have the view of downtown Disney from my room.
Must be nice. I can't see it, but sure, she's enjoying it.
I'm sorry. Anyways though, today's Chickee Chit Chat on my channel is going to be about bullying, and this is a largely requested Chickee Chit Chat from you guys all. All you chickies. You guys have requested this a lot of times because of course, my bad, I told you guys about, you know, my bullying experiences in middle school and high school with my YouTube channel and stuff. So I figured, you know, we kind of just talk about our experiences, and, you know, there's really no specific layout for this, kind of just like talking it out. So yeah.
Video might be a little dark.
Yeah, it might get, it's gonna be dark.
But hey, it's gonna be a fun ride.
It's gonna be, yeah, you might learn something from it, so there you go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you enjoy it anytime throughout, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, stay subscribed to my channel, and follow me on my social media. If you're not already, it is at BeautyChickee. So yeah. So without further ado, let's get started with this video. So where do we even start? Like, what are we gonna...
So it all started in 1995, cold winter night. My mom was in a great deal of pain, and I was charging out of there. From the perspective of being out of high school now, bullying is such a immature and such a, like, it's a thing that exists. It exists in the real world too, in the workplace. It exists in everywhere. But it's such an unfortunate thing, because coming from, you know, someone who has been bullied, like, nowadays I'm so happy and content with where I am in my life, and I've been able to sort of like progress past that. It really just shows you like where the people who bullied you are today, and like how I hate comparing people, but how low like they are, like, just as an individual, because it's they never really consider others or themselves in that matter, because they're just trying to avoid their own insecurities and try to just make everyone focused on their own, and it's an unfortunate thing. It's about how we deal with it and how we overcome it.
That was deep.
I'm a deep person.
I was just thinking this entire time you were talking. I was listening to you, but I forgot to mention that. By the way, if you guys are wondering, we're at Playlist Live, which is why it's a different setup, because I didn't mention the setup. That would have been smart to mention.
Well, you have the playlist thing on.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have my pass on. That broke. Tate broke it. Shout out to Tate. Good for you.
When would you say yours started?
Mine started in middle school in 7th grade, because that's when I told everybody about my YouTube channel. Or like my YouTube channel got leaked, because I didn't tell everybody about my channel. Just kind of people found out.
So we could go from like middle school and then talk about both stories, and then go to high school, and then sort of like where we are now. Like I know you're still in high school, but like, yeah, what you're still dealing with, what I'm still dealing with, what you overcame, what not.
Okay.
And let's not forget the impact that it had on us.
Yes.
That's gonna be deep.
So starting with my story, I guess, I'll start in 7th grade, because basically, I think I actually talked about this in a different video, but, you know, it's relevant to today, of course. In 7th grade, I made my YouTube channel. I started YouTube. I was very into it, you know, it was just a hobby at first. And it just so happened that this girl that was in my grade that I was friends with had the same exact thing. She did YouTube and stuff. She was very open about it at school, though. I didn't want people finding out about my channel, but she just let everybody know. And what ended up happening is that we filmed a video together one day. She posted it on her channel, and it said go to my channel, go subscribe to me, and that's how everybody in my school found out about my channel. Literally, like, a couple days right after they found out about my channel, maybe like a week after, I started getting, you know, like completely bullied. Like, it was basically people that were coming up to me and mocking me for my videos, and I had this best friend at the time, and she would mock me for my videos to kind of just like go along with her little crew or whatever. And so the middle school crew, but yeah, so basically she would mock me for my videos, everybody else would. One of my first uploads was a haul video, and I said something in that, I don't know why it was so like bad or like funny that I said it. I almost just yawned. I don't know why it's so bad or funny of what I said, because it was like, I didn't say anything bad in it. I was like showing like a squishy thing, and people are just making fun of me because I said that I liked it, and that was it. And that's where it all began. But yeah, no, so my friends and, well, not my friends, because obviously they made fun of me, not friends that make fun of you, but yeah, a lot of people just started bullying me and started to hate on me, and you know, I got a lot of like shit of people telling me, you know, your YouTube channel sucks, it's not going anywhere anyways, you should just stop making videos.
What a joke that was.
What?
What a joke that was.
Yeah, that's literally a joke, and that's why you should never give up. You know, if you like something, just keep going for it, because honestly, like, you know, it did bother me, and I mean, I'm going to the depths, like the impact that had on me in middle school is I would get very upset, and like I would private my videos from them and everything, and you know, it was just like, it was a dark time for me, because you know, it was just, I would always get very upset. I come home from school crying, and I wouldn't tell my parents, because my parents didn't know about my YouTube channel yet, so I wouldn't tell them why I was crying, but they knew it was because I was getting bullied, and it was just like a big mess and everything like that. And so, you know, at first I really let it hit me and everything, but then you know, 8th grade, that was not all in 7th grade mainly, 8th grade came, and I was still glutting, me too, I was still getting bullied in 8th grade, but it was like, you know, people started to calm down from it, not completely, but a lot of people still did. But you know, it was just something where in 8th grade I hit like 500 subscribers, and I mean, now I have 200,000. It's like, looking back at that, it's like not even a lot, but to me at the time that was a lot. And then it ended up hitting 1,000 like that same summer, so that was a humongous deal to me. But you know, it's like, that was such a big deal to me, so it was a big deal to other people, and so people started to be like, oh, maybe her YouTube channel is cool. And you know, I was proud of it, so I didn't let other people's opinions get to me by then. I just kind of, after the bullying and stuff like that, I unprivated videos, and then I just continued with YouTube, and obviously I am where I am, but that was mainly my middle school experience. And then I have like some more stuff in high school, but that was like my middle school, so yeah.
It's kind of like just a shame that like people have to mock people doing things that they like to do. Like, that's never okay, especially when it's not harming anyone. It's just someone expressing themselves through some sort of outlet, whether it's, you know, a sport or video game or a videos. You know, it's such a shame that people do that, and it really just says more about them as a character rather than the person being bullied. It shows how much less people can really like be, you know, like, I don't know if that's the right wording, but like,
I know what you mean though. It's like,
yeah, it's not like, I'm not putting anyone who has bullied someone down, but it's like, you're not in the best state of mind. You're obviously, there's something wrong on your end, and if you feel you need to get entertainment out of, or self-esteem out of putting someone else down who's not harming or, you know, doing anything wrong. So yeah, it's a shame.
I just don't get why that's a thing. Like, why people have to get enjoyment out of seeing other people hurt. I don't get what the rush is. I always feel bad if like I made another person like cry, or like, you know, I like made fun of somebody for something. Like, I feel like it's just something I can't do and make myself enjoy doing it. Like, I don't get how people do that, but for other people, they're going through stuff and they might bully another person, and then they get release out of that or something. And you know, I really don't think that's the best outlet. You shouldn't, you know, if you're dealing with your own problems, then you deal with them in a different way rather than, you know, hurting people. But yeah.
Let's move on to my story. In the 6th grade, you know, it's the time when people kind of just become aware of like, you know, what's going on. Like, people just start to like form these cliques and start thinking they want to like think highly of themselves, so they try to think lesser of other people. And I mean, I probably have done the same thing during my time in school at one point or another to someone else, and it's not right. You're not in a good place if you're doing that kind of behavior. And like, it's okay to have a group of friends and to be very attached and gravitate towards those kinds of people. But then when the whole group and people in that group are putting someone else outside of that group down, don't join in, don't and stand up for like someone. Like, just, it's not okay. People are so afraid to like go against what is kind of the norm for this group, basically bullying, to go against bullying, because it's like they want to try to fit in and think this is like okay. So mine sort of started, I was born legally blind. I have an eye condition where my eyes constantly wobble back and forth, and it's involuntary. I can't control that or anything, and I constantly see vertigo. So it's like I know what my suffrage is. Like I know no one else can see what it's like to see how I see. So you don't need to point out other people's flaws. They know their flaws. They have to wake up with them every morning and deal with them, you know? We, like, people, especially with disabilities and anything. It could be like, you don't like the shape of your nose, you don't like the space between your eyes, or whatever. You don't like, genetics exists and whatever. Basically, just going on the story is, people decided to start bullying me for my eyes, and something that I had no control over. There's no cure, there's no way I can correct the vision, because it's something special where glasses, I can't just put on a pair of glasses and suddenly my eyes stop moving. It's the eyes are still moving and creating a very out of focus picture. So anyway, there was just some very low life people who decided to, who weren't well educated at all, even though they went to my same school. They just weren't, I feel like they never really were educated about disabilities and anything of that nature. So they just, what do? They make fun of it, and they crack jokes, and then to the point where it got severe where they were even threatening to like bring, one example is in 6th grade, they threatened to bring a baseball bat and a golf club to hit me over the head to try to get the eyes to stop moving. Like,
oh my God.
Like, this is something that really bothers you. Like, can you really not have a conversation with someone who looks slightly different? Like, that's just so sad, like, on your end. It's just like, it just shows how we live in a very diverse country, a very diverse world, and if you're only sheltering yourself to people who look like you, talk like you, act like you, have the same eyes as you, that's pathetic. Anyway, so yeah, I dealt with that, and being young, it kind of scarred me. It did, and I got depression. I about dealing with that for like a month and a half in, tried to take my own life, and so I was hospitalized for several weeks, and had a psychiatrist throughout middle school, even going into high school, and constantly was on different medications to sort of combat the depression, but I was, actually like diagnosed with depression, and it was something I really was battling. There was times when I just wanted to relapse and just wanted to leave this world, and it's such an unfortunate thing that like such a small portion of the school population, like I had so many friends, did so many activities, but that small little portion, it just, I don't know, it affected me in one way or another at the time. So going through high school, I was going into high school, I dealt with that throughout middle school, through 6th grade to 7th and 8th grade. I found new groups of friends as well who were a lot more supportive, and found like an interest in acting, did theater for a bit. I also played sports like basketball in middle school, because the bullying resulted in me actually trying experimental surgery, which got my vision from like normal 2200 legally blind to 2100, 2090, about there, which is just considered visually impaired. Still kind of like bad vision that can't be really corrected, but it was enough for me to play basketball, play football, and yeah, so that, we'll get into high school and why I'm still legally blind today. We'll talk about that, but moving on to high school.
So obviously, I mean, our paths, you know, middle school are completely different, so he's gonna have a different high school experience than what I am, or what I am going through, what he went through. But as most of you know, I'm still in high school. I'm a junior in high school. Yes, I still get bullied for my channel. Not that much anymore, but you know, the bullying kind of slows down when you get into high school, because I feel like in high school people start to mature a little bit, but there are still those people that just won't mature, and that's just who they are, and it sucks, but whatever. And basically, I remember 9th grade is when I started this series, actually, Chickee Chit, and I did one about panties. And them panties though. No, but I did a video all about panties, as I'm sure you guys have seen it if you've been on my channel for a while. And in 9th grade, when I made that video, it was on like a school day, so like the next day I went to school, and obviously I got shitted on the entire time for it. Like, everybody was just going off about it, you know, just like, why would you make a video about that, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the whole reason I started Chickee Chit is to help out you chickies and like help my subscribers and everything like that. But, you know, I didn't expect to get such a negative impact from people that were surrounding me, and, you know, I did, and it was the worst thing ever, and, you know, I felt very, like, upset about it. I mean, I was in 9th grade, I already went through it in middle school, so it was kind of like not that big of a deal anymore, and I like knew who my friends were. I mean, obviously your friends are going to change throughout your entire years of high school, but like I knew like the ones that like no matter how much I got bullied would still stay by my side and stuff, like which ones I could keep with me. So, I mean, I was getting bullied for that a lot, and then it started to slow down a little bit, and then I remember actually 9th grade is when I also started to do You Now broadcasts, and I would do these broadcasts, and once again, going to school, people make fun of me for them, like, oh, why'd you do that on your broadcast last night? And I would just like hit them back, like, why were you watching? Like, you know, but I still get bullied for You Now broadcasts because, you know, I do a lot of weird stuff on my You Nows. It's just who I am. It's my personality. So I used to get a lot of crap for that. And I remember this one night specifically, a group of guys from my school came on my You Now broadcast, and they were telling my subscribers to go jump off a bridge and telling them to kill themselves, and like out of no reasoning. They were saying that I have no supporters and stuff, even though I had like 200 people watching me. It was like ridiculous, and so they started to say like all this like stupid stuff, and you know, it was very, you know, I didn't know what to do. Like, what do you do when you're like in a chat or whatever, and there's just people telling, you know, that like those are my fans. Like, why are you telling my fans to go kill themselves? You don't know them. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know anything about my channel. Like, it was the stupidest thing ever. So obviously I just blocked them. But you know, it was just like, you know, it kind of scared me because it's like, seriously, like, people would go to that extent just to make somebody feel bad. And they were like, oh yeah, I was just joking and stuff. Like, when I was in school, I was like, that stuff really shouldn't be joked about. Like, it's really messed up. So, you know, that was that. And I mean, obviously I'm very defensive of my subscribers. Like, if they're going through something, then I'm here. And, you know, if they're ever getting bullied, then I will message the person that's bullying them and call them out. Like, I do not care. But, you know, it's just like, it was just very hurtful. It was hurtful to them. It was hurtful to me. I didn't know what to do. I blocked the guys, didn't talk to them again. And that was that. And that same group of guys bullied me all the way throughout, you know, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, all the way into 10th grade. Finally, they stopped, but if they ever got back together in a groupie now and saw me, odds are they would probably say something to me. So it was like mainly in 9th grade, like that started, you know, that all happened or whatever. And then 10th grade, it started to slow down or whatever. I'm in 11th grade now, and you know, I don't really get bullied for my YouTube now, but it's more of people talking about it behind my back now, because people are still very immature, and, you know, like my school especially, like people in there are just, you know, very immature. Some people get jealous, and it's like, you know, people are gonna bully you on whatever it is if you're being successful at it. I mean, like, you could have 1 million subscribers on YouTube and still get made fun of because people are, you know, jealous. I'm not saying I'm no YouTube superstar or anything, but I believe that I do have a good following on YouTube. I think that 200,000 is, you know, it's great for me. Yeah, that's a lot of people when you think about it. So it's like, you know, it's like all the people in my school see that, and even though I'm doing good, they still try to find ways to bring me down. And I mean, now it's not really them like confronting me and bullying me and stuff. It's more of people talking behind my back. Like I said, like I remember just the other day I went out with a couple of my friends. Like I made friends with these girls that are seniors, and we went out and we had a good time one night. Went to school the next day, and they were texting me telling me that a bunch of people were coming up to them saying, why were you hanging out with Christina? This was literally like maybe 3 weeks ago this happened. They were like, why? Not even Christina. They asked why they were hanging out with BeautyChickee. Not BeautyChickee, BeautyChickee. And they were just like, because she's like a really chill girl, you know? Why don't you talk to her sometime? Like, I'm a nice person when you talk to me, like, hello. But they just never give me a chance, so they just assume the worst of me. I don't know why, but yeah, I mean, back to the whole thing though. I mean, high school didn't impact me that much on my bullying status of YouTube because I kind of got over it in my middle school into high school days. So now with getting bullied for YouTube, it's like, if something like that happens, it's really not that big of a deal to me anymore because I'm like, you know what? I've been through it. It's going to happen again. Yeah, so that's basically my thing.
So high school for me was quite different where freshman year, this is like, I had the eye surgery. My vision was better than it had been before, and there was slight hope that maybe I could drive someday. About 3-4 weeks into high school, suddenly, overnight, my vision was kind of blurry when I woke up the next morning, like, more than it usually was, and it lasted throughout the whole day, so I'm, like, kind of concerned, like, what happened, and, eventually, after a few days, I'm not performing as well in gym class, and I'm not performing, like, in sports as well at all, and then, my parents take me to see the ophthalmologist, and it turns out my vision went back from 90 to 20 to 100 again, and it was sort of my brother had the same surgery. His vision stayed at where it was. He was kind of lucky. Me, not so much. And it was an unfortunate thing to have to like wake up and suddenly I'm legally blind again. So, but eventually I kind of came to terms with it. And as I was working through that, the same kid, group of kids from 6th grade who originally kind of triggered my depression, and threatened violence on me just because of my eyes. I had a class with one of them, and so of course I'm in special education because I need accommodations for my vision in some classes, and just so happens he's in that class. So for one reason or another, I don't know his reason. I don't know if he's just sometimes they're slackers, and then other times it's people who need some extra help. But yeah, so he was in that class, and he just decided to start talking shit on me, quite frankly, a lot. So after kind of dealing with that freshman year, I decided I need to change. I volunteered at a camp for the blind, children like 4 to 12 years old. I like to give whatever vision I had to kind of help out someone else, and so I worked with kids, and some of the volunteers there went to school in Delaware, and they went to the private schools there, and I was going to public school in Pennsylvania, and they recommended their school, and I checked it out, looked into it, and by like the end of August, I was a late enroll, and got accepted, and I decided to try something new, try something different, and yeah, I know it was going to be pricey on my parents, and but their support really changed the person who I am today. I just wasn't happy with where I was. I was kind of just dealing with it, I was settling. I was sort of over the depression. At this point, I wasn't over the depression. I was kind of having relapses, but I was kind of sad. And when I got to this private school, I had a much smaller class. There was like 60 of us in one class, compared to like the 400 in my public school. And overall, it was like 200 kids compared to 2,000 kids. And it was a lot smaller environment, so I could focus on a few people, and they were very nice people and very just wonderful humans that I got to know and become friends with, and some of my best friends are now from that school. And it was, I'm not saying that, changing schools and going to a pricey private school is really the answer for everyone. It's not. But, the environment, it was smaller, it was easier for me to focus in class. Actually, not really exactly, we'll talk about that on my channel, because it was a college prep school, so having a disability, it had its consequences. But socially, I was very much more active. I was doing more social activities, getting more involved, really focusing on my art and also focusing on my video work. And yeah, it was a lot cooler environment. I wasn't being really discouraged. There's times when like I make a video and people want to like comment about it and say maybe this was inappropriate, because it was a private school, so some people were a little snooty and a little more prudish, and some of my content back then was not as family friendly as it is today. And I mean, some of the things they were saying may be right, and then some things are like you need to kind of open up a little bit to some different topics. But anyway, so I got in a better place overall though. It took a few years. By the end of my junior year, I was kind of like dealing with a little bit, but it was by senior year, I just mentally scraped everything. I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna deal with relationships, I'm not gonna deal with like school drama, I'm just not gonna get involved at all. If someone wants to try and comment about something, it's cool, let them do that. Like, everyone has a free will, everyone has their room to speak, but you know what, so do I, and I'm not gonna let that get to me, and I'm gonna keep continuing to do things. I'm like winning art festival awards, like first place for my films, and even, you know, if I go back, I can critique every little thing about a film, but it's like, I'm legally blind, I'm writing, I'm shooting, I'm acting, because there's like so few actors I had access to, and directing, just, I'm putting a whole like little production together, all by myself, and I mean, I want to give my past self a high five, because that's impressive as hell. So good for you, old James.
Yes.
Seriously, like, I like to look back and just like, dude, you were awesome. Like, don't feel discouraged about that. I won't like want to ever go back and like watch my old short films, because it's like sometimes a little cringeworthy. Like, oh, well, I could have done that. I could have.
It happens to every YouTuber.
Exactly. It happens to like, every person does art, really, or any sort of medium. And so, yeah, it was a trial and error, and to get to where I am today, obviously you gotta have some errors and keep like at it. It's just like practice makes perfect, honestly. But like with the bullying, it's like slow down, because I just really didn't respond to it, you know. And mentally, I was dealing with one, to put it lightly, he was kind of an ass. This one dude in my class who really didn't care about anyone. He didn't care about himself. He didn't care about, you know, the school. He was the most disrespectful person to authority, to like, and he wasn't even like rebellious. He was just kind of pathetic, to be honest. Like, he was just kind of sad. And people looked up to him, because it's like, we got all these sheltered kids like, oh my god, look what he's doing, and I want to be like, I want the courage to do. I'm like, but don't do that. That's not okay. That's not, like, he's like damaging property. He just doesn't care. He's like, I'm not gonna get into like, it was a religious school, but it's like, I'm not gonna get into religion here, but yeah. So he was just very sad. So, and then, you know, he tried and target me every once in a while. I just didn't, and he was a friend of mine too for like a few years, but just didn't let that get to me. So anyway, that's really what happened. Senior year was such a changing point for me, and I was able to sort of come out of high school like, I'm so over all that. I went to LA like 3 days after high school and lived there for the summer, and just like really experienced life like I never had before. And I had so many like awesome friends, like some of my best friends I know from the internet. And obviously, like, you know, confirm, make sure you like, they are who they say they are. There's ways to do that through Skype and video chatting, and you know, our identities are on. So I mean, like, that's how I know this awesome person.
Hey.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's how we met each other. Now we're best friends, and we're filming for you guys. So there you go.
It's just like, you never know where your friends are. They could be maybe like 200. I don't know how far you were, but 200 miles away.
About.
And some of my friends were all the way like 2,000 miles away in California. They're like some of my best friends who I hang out with there. So it's just find your friends. I mean, like, don't bother wasting your time with people who aren't worth your time, because they're just selfish and only care really about status. It's not cool. Like, it's so overwhelming to deal with that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's such a waste of time. You could be doing so much better, productive things with your life, and doing things for other people, doing things for yourself to self-improve, and that's just where I'm coming from with this. So
reach out, make some friends. If you want to start a YouTube channel, oh my god, number one thing, everybody tweets me saying they want to start a YouTube channel, but they're afraid, blah, blah, all this stuff. I'm going to make a separate video on that, of course. But honestly, don't be afraid. Reach out. Do it. Make some YouTube friends. Like you said, you never know where you're going to find your friends, even if you don't start YouTube. You know, imagine meeting somebody through Twitter. I met many of my friends through Twitter. There's so many different ways, you know. Go out more. Say hi to the cute guy in the mall. You never know what could happen. All right, so wrap up the video with an end card. So let's go. If you chickies enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and stay subscribed to my channel. If you're not already following me on my social media at BeautyChickee on Twitter and Instagram, make sure to go and do that. If you guys want to check out my latest video, it'll be linked below. And if you guys are interested in my merchandise, and that's linked right next to that, you know, BeautyChickee hats and sweaters and all that fun stuff, you can go and buy it. Click it on the screen. Everything on the screen is clickable, and everything is in the links below. So that being said, I'm going to go. He's going to go. Make sure to go and subscribe to his channel once again, link below. And yeah, that being said, ciao, ciao, chickies. Ciao, ciao, chickies.
I thought you were like doing some moves.
No. Ciao, ciao, chickies.